Donnie Wayne Don Johnson is an American actor, producer, director, singer, and songwriter. He is best known for his role as James "Sonny" Crockett in the 1980s television series Miami Vice, and as the lead role in the 1990s cop series Nash Bridges. Johnson is a Golden Globe-winning actor for his role in Miami Vice and a winner of the American Power Boat Association Offshore World Cup, and has received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Early life. Johnson was born on December 15, 1949 in Flat Creek, Missouri. His mother, Nell, was a beautician, and his father, Wayne Fred Johnson, was a farmer. At the time of his birth, they were 19 and 17, respectively. At age 6, he moved from Missouri to Wichita, Kansas. A 1967 graduate of South High School, he was involved in the high school's theater program. As a senior, he played the lead role of Tony in West Side Story. His biography noted that he had previously appeared in Burnt Cork and Melody and The Hullabaloo. He also attended the University of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas. Johnson has spoken about his draft-exempt status and his dislike for war. Acting. Early years. Johnson studied drama at the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. His first major role was in the 1969 Los Angeles stage production of Fortune and Men's Eyes, in which he played Smitty, the lead role. This exposure led to the quickly forgotten film The Magic Garden of Stanley Sweetheart. He continued to work on stage, film and television without breaking out into stardom. His notable films from this period were Zachariah, The Harrod Experiment, Lollipop and Roses, and A Boy and His Dog. In 1976, Johnson was roommates with actor Sal Mineo when Mineo was murdered outside their West Hollywood, California apartment. Miami Vice from 1984 to 1989, after years of struggling to establish himself as a TV actor, and a string of pilots, none of which became a TV series, Johnson landed a starring role as undercover police detective Sonny Crockett in the cop series, Miami Vice. The character typically wore $1,000 Versace and Hugo Boss suits over pastel cotton t-shirts, drove a Ferrari 365 GTS, Ford Daytona, followed by a Ferrari Testarossa, and lived on a 40-foot Endeavour yacht with his pet alligator, Elvis. Miami Vice was noted for its revolutionary use of music, cinematography, imagery, and its glitzy take on the police drama genre. In the show, his partner was Ricardo Tubbs, played by Philip Michael Thomas. Between seasons, Johnson gained further renown through several TV miniseries, such as the 1985 TV remake of The Long, Hot Summer, Nash Bridges. Johnson later starred in the 1996 to 2001 drama Nash Bridges with Cheech Marin, Jeff Perry, Jamie P. Gomez and Jody Lynn O'Keefe. Johnson played the title role of Nash Bridges, an inspector for the San Francisco Police Department. In Nash Bridges, Johnson was again paired with a flashy convertible car, this time a curious yellow 1971 Plymouth Barracuda. 2000s. In the fall of 2005, he briefly starred in the WB courtroom television drama show Just Legal as a jaded lawyer with a very young and idealistic protege partner. The show was cancelled in October 2005 after just 3 episodes aired. In January 2007, Johnson began a run in the West End of London production of Guys and Dolls as Nathan Detroit. Johnson also has a role in the Norwegian comedy Longeflate Balla 2, directed by Johnson's friend Harold Swart. Johnson did the movie as a favor to Swart. The movie was launched March 14, 2008 in Norway, with Johnson making an appearance at the premiere. He next appeared in When in Rome with Danny DeVito, Angelica Houston and Kristen Bell. 2010's Johnson and John Heder co-hosted WWE's Raw on January 18, 2010. Johnson had a supporting role in Robert Rodriguez's film, Machete. Johnson played Von Jackson, a twisted border vigilante leading a small army. The film was released on September 3, 2010. He also reprised his role as Sonny Crockett for a Nike commercial with LeBron James where the NBA player contemplates acting and appears alongside Johnson on Miami Vice. In September 2011, Johnson had a cameo in the comedy A Good Old-Fashioned Orgy with Jason Sudeikis. Johnson had a supporting role in the 2012 Quentin Tarantino film, Django Unchained, playing a Southern plantation owner named Spencer "Big Daddy" Bennett. In 2015, Johnson began starring in the ABC primetime soap opera, Blood and Oil. Music. Johnson released 2 albums of pop music in the 1980s, one in 1986 and the other in 1989. His single, Heartbeat, reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 Singles chart. It was the title track from his first album, and was a collaboration with Robert Tepper. Johnson is also a good friend of Willie Nelson and Robert Tepper, and was briefly a part of the Thailand Pact alongside Tommy Morrison and British TV funny man Les Dennis. Previously, Johnson worked with Greg Allman and Dickie Betts of the Allman Brothers, co-writing the songs Blind Love and Can't Take It With You with Dickie Betts, which appeared on their 1979 album, Enlightened Rogues. B.B. King and Jules Taub co-wrote the song Blind Love. The Allmans covered it. There is no writer's credit to confirm he co-wrote Can't Take It With You. Till I Loved You was the title track of a studio album released on October 25, 1988 on Columbia Records. The song was a duet with then-girlfriend, Barbra Streisand. The song was re-released on the Streisand album, Duets, in 2002. Personal life, relationships and family. Johnson has had 4 wives in 5 marriages, 3 of which were brief. His first 2 marriages, in the late 1960s, were annulled. The names of Johnson's first 2 wives have not been made public knowledge. In the early 1970s, Johnson lived with groupie Pamela Des Barres. At 22, he met Melanie Griffith, the 14-year-old daughter of his The Harrod Experiment co-star Tippi Hedren. When Griffith was 15, she and Johnson began living together in a rented house in Laurel Canyon. On her 18th birthday they became engaged, and were married in January 1976. They filed for divorce that July. In early 1989, they reunited and had a daughter, Dakota Johnson, and were married again from that year until 1996. Johnson lived with actress Patty D'Arbanville from 1981 to 1988. The couple has a son, Jesse Wayne Johnson. A 1989 description of the couple's life in the 1980s said, O.N. Yan, 17, 1981. D'Arbanville met Johnson at an L.A. restaurant. I saw this gorgeous guy, she says, and I ran after him, saying, "Hey you." It turned out to be Donnie. I said, "So, Donnie, how many times have you been married?" He said, 3. I said, "Say hello to No." 4. Johnson ditched his date, Tanya Tucker, and spent the night with Patty. 1 month later, she says, I was pregnant. The couple planned to marry that fall, but D'Arbanville changed her mind. I didn't see the point, she says. Besides, there were areas in which we didn't get along. Drinking was one of them. Shortly after becoming pregnant, Patty sobered up. Donnie didn't, she says, and we grew further apart. Johnson eventually stopped drinking with D'Arbanville's help. Miami Vice took Johnson to Florida in 1984, and the couple split a year later. Johnson next had a relationship with Barbra Streisand, lasting into at least September 1988. In 1995–1996, Johnson was briefly engaged to Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, who played his daughter on Nash Bridges. On April 29, 1999, he married San Francisco socialite and Montessori nursery school teacher Kelly Flegger, then 30, at the Pacific Heights mansion of Anne and Gordon Getty. Actor Robert Wagner served as best man, and Mayor Willie Brown presided over the civil ceremony. Johnson and Flegler have 3 children together, a daughter, Atherton Grace Johnson, and 2 sons, Jasper Breckinridge Johnson, and Deacon Johnson. Legal problems. In November 2002, German customs officers at the Swiss-German border performed a routine search of Johnson's car. Bank statements evidencing $8 billion in transactions were found in the trunk of his car. He was accompanied in his black Mercedes-Benz by 3 men, an investment advisor, a personal assistant, and a third of unknown identity. Initially it was thought Johnson was involved in money laundering, but he was cleared of wrongdoing. In May 2008, Johnson came within hours of losing his Woody Creek, Colorado home to foreclosure. He paid off his $14.5 million debts less than 24 hours before a scheduled auction of the property. In July 2010, a Los Angeles jury awarded Johnson $23.2 million in a lawsuit against production company Risha Entertainment, from whom Johnson sought a share of profits commensurate with his ownership of half the copyright of Nash Bridges. Risha announced it would appeal the verdict. In January 2013, after recalculating interest and avoiding an additional appeal, Risha paid Johnson $19 million to end the lawsuit. Reception, awards and recognitions. Filmography, film, television, discography, studio albums, compilation albums, singles, featured singles, videography. 1987, Heartbeat, full-length video.